Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today we're going to be taking a look at Baze Malbus from the Star Wars 6-inch Black Series. This is a really fantastic figure, but before we take a closer look at him, let's go ahead and take a look at his packaging. Here it is. It's pretty standard for the Black Series here. Nice big window here on the front, and then down in the corner it's got a picture of the character here. Pretty cool. And then on the back, it's got a brief description. If you'd like to read that, you can go ahead and just pause the video. And then again, it's got another picture here of the character on the back. So let's go ahead and get back to the figure itself here. Baze stands at exactly 6 inches tall, so he's right in scale with all of your other Black Series figures. And he does come with a couple accessories. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. The first one is this little thing that looks a little bit like a walkie-talkie, but I have no idea truly what it's supposed to be. And this has a little peg on the back of it that plugs right into his belt here. And it's got a shaped peg so you can put it in the correct way. And then that stays in there pretty nice. I don't know why it wasn't just glued into the belt to begin with, but I guess it is kind of cool that it is removable. His other accessory here is his backpack gun and cape. They're all connected. You can remove the little cord between the gun and the backpack, which is kind of nice. But we'll talk about, well, I'll go ahead and talk about what problem that creates. Sometimes the cord wants to pull out of the bottom of the gun, which wouldn't have been a problem if they had glued it in. It's not a huge deal. Obviously, you can see it pretty much stays together, but sometimes when you're posing him, you'll pull a little bit too much on the gun and then the cord will pop out, and you have to fiddle with that. But aside from that, the backpack stays in. It's pretty light, so it doesn't pull him over, and then obviously the gun fits in his hand well, and the whole thing is painted and has a ton of detail. Looks really great. So let's go ahead and pop the backpack onto the figure here so you can see that. Adds a ton of heft to the figure, which is really cool. Makes him stand out overall. And then obviously, like I said, it fits in his hand. As you can see there, kind of the problems it causes whenever you're trying to pose. The cord does get in the way, but you can always just plug it back in pretty easily. Just like that. So as far as articulation goes on this figure, it's pretty good overall, especially for a character that's pretty bulky. Here in the head, he has a ball peg on top of a hinge, which lets him look up a little bit, or mostly straight forward, and then down, and then he can obviously turn his head. Not the greatest range there, but it's not a ton. There's not a ton that they could have done with long hair and a neck collar like this. So I think that they did everything that they could by making his hair out of a soft rubber. Then he's got ball hinge shoulders that do rotate 360, which is nice. Hinged elbows with a swivel here. Hinged wrists with a swivel, and on this side the hinge runs horizontally through the hand, and this way it runs vertically. Here in the torso, he's got a single ball peg, and it's going to be mostly just a swivel. And he does have a lot of stuff on his chest, which does get in the way, and you can't really pull it too much forward or back. So it's pretty limited there. That's the most limited point of articulation on the figure. He does have T-jointed hips with a pretty reasonable range. It's not the greatest, obviously, but I think that he's not the most dynamic character as far as action poses, so I think you could probably get away with having this limited articulation. And then they do kick forward, even though his pouches are there, they don't get in the way because they're made of a soft, flexible plastic. Then he's got swivel hips here, double hinged knees, hinged ankles, and an ankle rocker. So overall, I think that this is one of the better Black Series figures that Hasbro has ever released. I think that's mostly because he's kind of got a different body type than a lot of characters, and then he's got a huge weapon with tons of armor, and they did a really nice job, I think, overall on him. So I definitely recommend this figure if you can find it at a reasonable price. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. And I guess I'll see you later.